all, how are you holding up as head coach of this team and balancing your personal life with your family life with your soccer life that's just out there on the wings?
Well, we're doing okay, Paul. I mean, number one thing in our household, Christina and I mean, we're playing it safe. I mean, we're sticking to most of the protocols. I mean, we try and limit our grocery shopping trips. I mean, we've gone maybe 3 times in 3 weeks. My mom's 79 years old. We have masks in the car, so if we go somewhere, we're doing that. And, we're social distancing. We want to be good citizens and do the right thing. And, we're trying to do what we can. So we're holding out okay here. We're healthy. That's number one. And, mentally health is a different story. I mean, sometimes you get a little cooped up, you feel a little cooped up, but we have a nice neighborhood walk that we take with our dog. I mean, our dog is loving life right now. I mean, he gets 2-hour-long walks a day. He's in doggy heaven. So, we're keeping sane.
Yeah, it is. I heard you allude to that last time when you got on your conference call, but we have a couple of cats here too, and the pets in probably everybody's households are just loving life right now. Number one, and number two, they probably don't know what the heck is going on.
Yeah, there's a couple of memes out there that we've seen where the dogs are hiding on the top of cabinets or they're hiding underneath the desk saying, no, I don't want to go for a walk. It's pretty funny. Pretty funny.
Well, how are you doing as far as I know the health is a big thing and taking care of social distancing and being the stay home, stay healthy. But let's talk a little bit about your sport and the fact that, how much contact have you had with your players?
Well, we're working on different and new ways of contact with them all the time. And look, right in the beginning, we would kind of go out there, okay, once a week. I had my coaches call all the players. We did a lot, but it just wasn't a lot of soccer yet because, we didn't know how long this was going to go on. So the communication, the touch points were more, hey, how you doing? And how's your family? And what are you doing? And our fitness guys sent out, fitness routines each week. They had to follow all of that. We had a trivia night. We had last couple of weeks in a row, we had trivia night. So we've been trying to keep in contact, but the challenge for us is we don't want to sit there and inundate them with, because a lot of the senior players have been on the team for a while. So we're not sitting there pushing out, a new lesson plan every day, like, school kids. But we are starting to, give them some soccer specific stuff, as well as we're going to continue to just check in with them just to make sure they're okay.
How can you give them, when you say soccer specific stuff, I know you don't want to inundate them with game film, but what kind of things, give me one example of something that you can kind of up their game a little.
I'll tell you what we did today. So this morning's exercise, after we got off our conference call with the coaches and everything, we came up with an idea of what are the 10 non-negotiable things that happen in every soccer match. Okay, it's winning your duels. It's we're going to get a shutout. It's we're going to try and score. We're going to win our battles. We're going to fight. We're never going to give up. And the coaches came up with 10 things. When we win possession of the ball, we're going to pass the ball forward. When we press, we're going to press with speed. And the coaches came up with some really good ideas about what we can do, and we'll put that up on the locker room wall. And these are just every game, regardless of the tactics for whatever opponent we're playing. These 10 things are non-negotiable in every game. And so we sent that out to the players. And the players, their assignment is to go over, and we gave them an example of what we kind of come up with, some ideas, and their little assignment is to come back with us because it's really their team. So what do you guys want? What is important to you guys? When you're there, what do you want the teammate next to you, sit next to you in the locker room? What do you want him to do? What do you want him to be thinking?
They're young guys, but let's face it, they've been working out their whole lives and been involved in soccer their whole lives. They know what it takes to stay in shape. So how much, physical activity do you know, or do you monitor them at all or have some kind of a program for them?
Yeah, so we send out a program, but Paul, it's been challenging. I mean, a lot of the stuff has just been strength stuff that they've been doing in their apartments. I mean, a little earlier on, we did some running stuff out out on the streets or the local field and whatever. But then that kind of got shut down as well by the governor. So we've been challenged to try and get them up. Our sports science guys are concerned that after this many weeks of inactivity, and then they got to get on the field and start sprinting, their hamstrings are going to be at risk. So we're thinking about different ways to get them in a safe environment. We talked about making sure each guy had a stationary bike at home. I mean, we're trying to come up with ways, but we've basically stuck to just like stuff you can do at home. And look, some of the guys have treadmills and bikes at home already, some of the good pros, but a lot of the young guys, they don't have access to that. So yeah, they gotta figure out ways. Jump rope, what do you do at home? Do some jump roping. Do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, all of those things that we used to do back in the old days.
Well, the other thing is, yes, you can set them on this program and but there's really no way to gauge their intensity of their workouts, right?
Yeah, so we have joint Zoom workouts where we see them on their screens. And look, yeah, we're not measuring the heart rate. We haven't gone to that type of level yet. I mean, there's big teams around the world that put GPS units on their back and stuff like that. We haven't gotten to that level, but we trust that they're all good pros. I have faith in them that they're all going to do some exercise because it's their job, it's their livelihood, and they have to stay busy in this time.
What about as far as when you look at the league itself? You guys barely got started, and all of a sudden you stopped. It seems like if MLS or any other league is going to start up, they're going to have to start up in empty stadiums. What do you think of that idea?
Well, that has been floated out there by people in the soccer world and the Bundesliga and stuff like that. I heard the big brouhaha with the baseball, with the getting all the major league teams in one spot, and some people liked it, some people doesn't. I'm still undecided, Paul. I mean, obviously my first choice would to be in with the stadium and the fans, and it's safe. We've kind of gotten a handle on this COVID-19, but I also see the ownership, the TV revenue. I see that business side of it as well, but my preference would certainly be to play in front of our fans.
But when you look at, like you brought up the business side of MLS, to stay healthy financially, they may have to get going and go that route. Huh?
Well, Paul, they might have to. And those are things that unfortunately are out of my pay grade. I mean, those are decisions that are going to be made by other people, and we'll deal with it. I mean, we're pretty resilient. The Sounders franchise has been a really good front runner as far as this league is concerned, and I'm sure Adrian's involved in all those discussions. And whatever decision they come to, we'll make the best of it.
So you're sitting here today and nothing's changed really. All you're hearing is maybe some faint optimism that something might get started.
Well, look, in my most pessimistic moods, you say, okay, maybe the season doesn't go. Your most optimistic is, okay, MLS is going to put something out, and they keep delaying things, and our governor has to okay things, and the California people are a little bit on a different track, and but maybe in my most optimistic sense is that maybe we can just even create sterile work environments where we can go to Starfire, and we know that facility is just for us, and we test the players, and maybe there's a common ground somewhere where we can at least start the process of getting back to work. And then if everything goes great and we're playing in front of a full stadium, or there has to be some other type of competition, at least the players will be ready for it.
I think you bring up a good point there. I mean, yeah, if I could sit here and play governor, or and make up the guidelines, it would seem that even if you went old school, Brian, and had the guys show up in their cars and just park at the Starfire and go on out to the practice field and start practicing and warming up and keeping their distance, would seem like you guys could get your work in.
Yeah, I think the counterpoint to that was, look, we all have to be good citizens. We don't want to sit there and we want to do what the governor says. We want to be safe. We want to make sure that none of our athletes are ever put in any harm's way because, look, on a soccer field, there's 27 guys and we're running around together. So maybe the halfway point is we start with smaller groups and you build that up and you get guys tested. I mean, there's lots of ideas out there, Paul, that are being kind of talked about. But so far, the guys that are making those final decisions, they haven't told us anything yet. But I know all of those plans, it's being done. I mean, in the Bundesliga, again, I'll go back to the Bundesliga because they're the ones that are kind of leading the charge as far as, getting their teams back in training and stuff like that. So, that's their opinion. They say if players come to our facility in smaller groups and they stay, 6 feet apart on the field, they feel that that's safe. But that's the Bundesliga.
Yeah. How about you? I won't keep you much longer, but you say when you communicate with your players, have you taken part in any of the games that your fans are they're allowed to sign up and pay and play with your players? Have you had a chance to play any video games? Are you taking part of that?
No, I'll let Gustav, Steph, Christian, George, I'll let all those guys have the fun with the fans. I have been watching those games like the Cup Finals and the LAFC game, the replay of some of those matches. I've been involved in some of that, and Steve Zakawani and our guys down at Pioneer Square have done a great job of presenting at least some content, in and around social media. But I'm not a big gamer, so I'd be useless for anybody's team. I mean, I could be a good cheerleader. I could say, hey, let's go, but my gaming skills are not that sharp.
All right, so you bring up you're watching some old games. There's a lot of say classics that they're putting on these sports networks right now that people have a chance to relive, and you've had some great ones to relive. 2 questions. First of all, has there been a favorite one that you like watching?
That's a pretty easy question. I mean, it was last year's final. I mean, to host an MLS Cup final, like everybody was talking about the LAFC game was the best that the Sounders have played, and they beat LAFC and blah blah blah. And the 2016 final was the first one, and that felt it was the first one and all that. But look, for me, being a guy born and raised in Seattle, seeing 70,000 people in that stadium on that Sunday afternoon, it's on national TV. I had my whole family there. I mean, that to me was just lights out. My favorite game.
Yeah. Okay. Outside of sports, what are you watching at home that maybe your wife and I, your wife and you have to share the television or share moments, and like, is there something you guys are binge watching, or is there some kind of shows that you prefer or movie genres that you prefer?
Our go-to is always Jeopardy. We love watching Jeopardy. Alex does a great job. But we just binge watched Peaky Blinders. That was interesting. I mean, good storyline. It hooked you right away a little bit, but we did that. Our movies, I mean, we watched I'm trying to think of when the last one well, shit, we've watched so much TV, it gets hard sometimes to remember everything, but we watch all sorts of different movies. I mean, I like anything that's true. Christine, of course, likes some rom-coms and stuff like that, but we're pretty easygoing.
Yeah. I like the true crime stuff, but there are some things in this household that I have to keep busy because I just can't sit there and watch it. There has to be something like that going on at your house too.
Yeah. I mean, I can't watch every single soccer replay that's out there on TV. I get to pick and choose some of those, but again, I mean, we're avid readers. I mean, Christine reads a lot of books. I like to read. So we'll watch a little Jeopardy. We'll watch the news, even though the news is getting depressing these days. So
Sure.
we've kind of even toned down on that. But we'll watch the news, we'll watch Jeopardy, we'll read our books, we'll have a glass of wine. It's a pretty simple household over here.
Well, it sounds like you guys are coping fine and enjoying the family time, and that's a big plus too, huh, Coach?
That's for the guys with kids, I think this time is, there's a lot of opportunity, I would say. I put it like that. There's a lot of opportunity with families, with children, that they can really connect. Gonzalo Pineda has a couple young kids. Jimmy Traore has a couple young kids. Tom Dutra has a couple, teenage kids, and they're with their children every day. And that is so great. Preki even had one of his, I think his daughter came and his son might have came. They're all in their late 20s. So you enjoy this family time. I mean, they brought them here to be safe, and obviously the school age kids are out of school, and they're at home. So that's a blessing. To me, that's a blessing. We don't have that here. I mean, all my kids are gone, and they it's an empty nest household. But for all the other people out there, enjoy that time with your family, because this is one of the best opportunities you can to really make some close contact.
Yeah, that's a great message, and it sounds like a lot of people across the country for sure are embracing the time too, taking advantage of it. So I appreciate your time, man, and thank you for taking time to chat with me, and I sure hope we can see you on the pitch soon.
Yeah, me too. I mean, players, they want to get back to work as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Coach. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, Paul. All right. Anytime.